Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be a quick video to show you 10 different things that you may or may not have known about the new game that came out recently, Farming Simulator 25. This is not a list of major new features or anything like that. I'm not trying to advertise it as that, but we're going to dive into just some just minor little tweaks and changes that are, I think, to be appreciated a little bit. Nothing game-changing or game-breaking or anything like that. It's just a little bit different. Just some small stuff. And some of the stuff, again, you may have already noticed, and that's okay. But hopefully I point out maybe at least one or two new features that you didn't notice or appreciate before. So let's go ahead and dive into it. For number one, this is one that's kind of just very minor, but the palette coloring is kind of randomized. I think there's more colors than just the couple I have out here. And these two at the end I think this one's a little bit darker, but not by much. But anyhow, you can see these ones down here are very much different. These are just pallets that I bought here at the warehouse on Riverbend Springs, but when you're using a production chain and they're spawning pallets, you will notice difference of those as too. It just kind of randomized between like having an old pallet or a brand spanking new one over on this end, and then any kind of thing in between. So yeah, I've noticed about 5 or so different shades. I couldn't get them all to spawn necessarily this time, but if you spawn them enough or spawning the pallets over time, you'll start to notice just little differences, which I know it's not something major, but in the real world, you wouldn't have brand new pallets every time you were palleting something up or you were making products or something like that. You would have different colored pallets because, well, you would use old pallets and stuff like that that have been a little bit more worn. So it's such a minor thing, but at the same time, it's really cool to see that just kind of extra detail. For number 2, it is the unload capacity as you are harvesting or unloading a harvester or something into another trailer. But if you come over this, you'll see upper right hand corner, it's going to show you the capacity of what you are unloading into as you're unloading into it, which is really cool. So you can see we are now 45% full. 1,595 liters of canola have gone into that. So you can see it's 45% full and we are now 0%. It's nothing terribly major, but it is something that's kind of a little bit of an extra feature that is really nice. So I like it. For number 3, strapped down pallets will not sell. So if I drive over a sell point, these pallets will not sell, whereas in Farming Simulator 22, they would just sell immediately. And this is kind of nice because if you have several things loaded up, you can be like, well, maybe you just wanted to sell your honey here and you didn't want to sell your rice flour. Well, unstrap it and those will sell off. So it kind of makes it a little bit easier. And you can see here, if I unstrap these guys, those will now they'll sell off and everything like that. So it's kind of nice actually, because you can kind of decide what sells and everything like that versus you never really had the ability to do that. Now, I will say as well, just as a disclaimer, if you're selling stuff via the train, you are definitely strap stuff down so it doesn't go flying off the train while you're transporting it, and it will still sell off if it is strapped down on the train. I have tested that, so you don't have to worry there. For number 4, it's auto leveling harvesters or combines. If we go in the store here and we go down to harvesters, it doesn't work on all of these. It works on these two right here as far as I know, just these two. But it's very cool. So you can see it's on a little bit of a hill, but if I hit X to unfold, it's gonna level me out, which is pretty cool. Now that's not anything to write home about right there, but let me show you a couple other nifty things that this will do and how extreme it will go. As I start to go off into the water, it really goes above and beyond to keep you upright. To an extreme level. This is probably the max that'll go right here. But if we take a look back here, I mean, look at that. That's insane how much that will lift the rear end of that harvester up to make sure you're good to go. It's absolutely insane. In addition to that too, one of the really cool things, if we actually come up, I mean, you can see it'll adjust as we go up hills and stuff like that to help keep that harvester level on the back side of it. Not only is it keeping that back end level there, the other thing that kind of happens is if we look, I mean, we can also go sideways and you can probably already see the front of it. Look at the header on the front of this thing. If I lower it down, turn it on, look at this guy. Look at that. We could now I know there's grass here, so there's nothing to actually harvest, but it's just to show you how crazy this piece of equipment is that they added in the new game. Obviously, I know this stuff exists in real life, that's why we're able to have it now, but it's such a cool, nifty feature. It just is really cool. It'll do some crazy stuff for you, keeping everything level and nice with the ground as you're harvesting. But yeah, auto leveling harvesters, so stinking cool. For number 5, this is something that's kind of a little bit unique. Obviously we have NPCs as a new part of the game, but they will actually do something a little bit different if the weather gets too bad for them. So you can see here is Grandpa Walter having a good time. It is perfectly capable weather, but if something changes with the weather, you can see now Grandpa Walter is gone. And when the weather's like this, they won't even show up on the map. Now, if you are near them, when the weather does go bad, they will stay outside and talk to you. However, as soon as you leave the area and they have this, I mean, this is just some rain here, but any sort of really bad inclement weather, they are going to go inside, and you'll have to wait until the weather goes away to talk to them, because they are not about to talk to you when it is this bad outside. For number 6, one other thing you may have not noticed about this particular cultivator, and I actually don't think it applies to any of the other ones. There might be another one it does this with, but if I open my help menu up in the upper left-hand corner, it says toggle work mode. Right now it's in shallow cultivation, so if I lower it down, you're going to see we're going to get a nice shallow cultivation behind us, but if I hit left control Y, it is going to be deep cultivation. So you can actually do 2 different types of cultivation here, and if you want to know the difference between these 2, you can check out my guide on that, and I'll put a card up on your screen right now so you can go check out my guide on different stats of, or different parts of just kind of field prep and stuff like that to show you what all the different pieces of equipment work. And if I left control Y again, we are back to shallow cultivation. So, and it's pretty cool, and you can see what it actually does to the piece of equipment. It allows all of that to drop down super deep if that's what you're doing, or it raises it up a little bit so it's not actually going as deep into the ground there. Sorry, hit the debug mode, but it's pretty darn cool. So that's one thing I've noticed that I think is pretty awesome. For number 7, this is something that's kind of unique as well. If you go over to sheds here, you can see up there at the upper left-hand corner, it says F to customize. Well, if I customize, you can add solar panels to pretty much any shed that you want. Not all of them will do it, but a lot of the base game sheds will do it. Like, I'm sure this one will do it here. If we do F customize, yep, we can do solar panel. You also, of course, can change the color in here if you want as well. But yeah, you can add solar panels to most of the sheds and make a little bit of extra income off of your sheds if you're going to go ahead and build them. Now, it does add a fair amount to the price, but at the same time, it's really cool. So I like that customization availability for all the new different types of sheds. And speaking of build mode, for number 8, tree customization. Now you can see up there in the upper left-hand corner, it says change tree size. So if we rotate through, I mean, go back down, we can place this little guy all the way up through the different sizes of trees as we're going through it, which is awesome. That applies to any one of these different trees that we have in here. We can adjust the size just by scrolling through them, going back down or up, or whatever the case may be. We can pick any tree and we can change it. Now, some of them don't obviously have too many customizations, but for a lot of them, you have a few different options there to get you the different sizes of trees, which is super cool. So yeah, I enjoy customizing your farm with some new trees and do different sizes of them. It's pretty cool. Now for number 9, a lot of you guys probably know about this, but whether you buy a power washer at the store, I just placed this one down, but you also can buy a power washer in here. I believe it's down here at the bottom under miscellaneous. So whether you buy it in here or you place it down on your farm like I just did, you can get in it and you can drive it around, which is absolutely epic. So you can move your power washer around even if you placed it down. You can put it in a building if you want. You can do whatever you'd like to do. Then you hop back out and you can use it wherever you've moved it to. So there you go, portable power washers. All right, for number 10, the last one I have for you guys is the harvester mulching state. And what I mean by that is using a harvester, you can actually, without a mulcher, get a mulch state on your field. You can see here, I'm leaving a straw swath. So if we go into our map here, we zoom in real close over here, you can see where I was cultivating earlier in the video. But if we come over here and we look at the mulch state, nothing's going on over here. We don't have any that's getting laid down. But if I turn off the straw swath and I keep going like this, and I start kicking that back out, and it's just getting kind of chopped and thrown on the ground, we're actually leaving a mulch state on the ground. And you can see where I went around earlier with the canola. Crops like that don't have a straw swath that you can leave behind, such as canola or soybeans or things like that, you can still leave a mulch state on the ground, which means you're going to get a 2.5 to 3% yield increase over that area the next time you farm it. So it actually does matter. I used to always say that if you were going to leave some straw on the field, it doesn't matter. You can always choose to pick it up later or not, but it actually might be hurting your yield a little bit if you leave the straw on there and then don't pick it up. Now, obviously, if you want to use the straw, you're going to want to leave straw on the field for you to pick up, but if you don't care to use the straw, like I usually don't care to use the straw, then you're probably going to want to leave it just like this. You're not leaving a straw swath. That way you can get that extra mulch state the next time you grow some crops on there. But anyhow, guys, those are the 10 different things that I kind of noticed that I thought were pretty cool. I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know what else you've noticed about the game. Let me know down in the comments what you've noticed about Farming Simulator 25, the new game. Let me know. Let me know what you guys have noticed, new features, things that I may have missed, and maybe I'll put out another video like this one. So anyhow, if you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.